Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Deepti and today I'm here with the most requested topic, and that is how did I manage my CA finals along with my job. So before we get started, I just want you to know that this video is going to be a little longer. So if you have time, then only sit and watch this video. So the main reason I'm saying this is because I am not just going to share you the routine that I followed for my exam, but I also need you to know that how are you supposed to make your plan. So when you will listen to me in this video, then you have to relate your existing circumstances to my circumstances, and then you have to accordingly plan your studies. Okay, so you have to prepare a self-customized plan for yourself. You do not have to follow exactly what I did, but yes, definitely what I did and how did I manage it would be a good roadmap for you to follow it in order to get a right direction for clearing your examinations along with your job. So let's get started. So guys, in last year 2020 beginning, my CA final registration was going to expire and I had to revalidate it. So when I started with my job, before getting into it, I had a target set in my mind that I have to complete my CA, and I do not have to get into this revalidation stuff. I have to complete my CA by my within the registration limit that I'm having. I'm not going to appear, I'm not going to pay the fees for my revalidation, and that was very much final from my end. So my target was to complete my CA by November 19 examinations itself. So when in May 2019 I had given my examination, my main target was to clear my first group, and I had a very good planning in respect to that, although I had given both my groups. But what unfortunately happened was my planning did not go well. I could not implement it in a proper manner, so which ultimately led for me failing into both the groups without any exemptions. And after that, in July 2019, on 5th July 2019, I joined GenPact, and after that my life changed a bit. So when my results had come out on August mid, I actually went into depression because my expectation was somehow that I would clear my first group, although I was having some doubt with respect to SFM because that paper did not go really well, because I got a little bit overconfident in case of SFM and accounts. So in accounts I just somehow passed, and in SFM I literally failed. I got something in 30s. So that was the scenario, and I was like in kind of a depression phase. But definitely being into job, it helped me to come out of my depression because I had a regular office routine that time and no lockdown was there. So few days went by, and in that depression phase I was feeling like how could I manage my studies now, because earlier when in May 19 I gave my exam, that time my internship with Deloitte had already ended in month of March. Like by March end my internship also ended. So April and May, when I gave my exams, I had that 1.5 months to prepare. So I did not really had a proper experience, studying when you are also into job. So that was a bit difficult phase, and also I was in a bit depression phase. So 1 week went by and I was not able to realize what am I doing and what am I not doing. So some things were happening, like I was just going to office, coming back, eating, sleeping. I was just like doing some of my work, and that's it. That's how life went by for like 7 weeks, 7 to 10 days. It went on like that. Then I started to realize that the way I'm behaving, and I'm not talking to people, so it means I'm actually getting into depression. That was a self-realization for me. Then I thought, okay, so let's now think of what to do. So because I knew that my registration is going to expire in March 2020, so I had it in my mind that okay, November 19 is the last attempt, I have to give my exam in that attempt itself. But I was actually having less time, so I was just thinking like what to do now. Should I appear for both the groups again? It might not affect my first group also if I study for my second group. So I don't know, somehow something popped up in my mind, and I filled up my form for both the groups, and my focus was 100% only on the first group. Okay, so that was a different decision because I just thought I'll just give my second group if I am in a mood to give the examination, or if I'm mentally prepared, I'll just give my exam. Because earlier I had studied, so whatever I'll be able to manage. And I was like, okay, let's target something like that you are able to score really good marks in your first group so that you can cover up your second group. Even if you just get pass marks in second group, you'll be able to pass both your groups together. So that was the strategy happening in my mind. So of course it was difficult for me to manage along with the job, but somehow my routine went by. That time was that my office hours used to be 11 to 8. That was the 9 hours of schedule, which was from Monday to Friday. And my office was not really very far from my place. So it took me almost 15 to 20 minutes to reach my office. So my routine was something like, I used to wake up around 6 o'clock. I used to sit with my studies by 6:30 to 8:30. I used to study for 2 hours in the morning. After that, 8:30 to 9:30, I used to spend in the kitchen preparing my breakfast, my lunch, etc. And then from 9:30 to 10:30, I used to get ready, and 10:30, I used to leave for my office. Then again, at 8:30, between 8:30 to 9 p.m., I used to come back. After that, I used to speak to my mom for some time and take some rest, prepare my dinner, have my dinner. After that, I used to take a nap of 1 or 2 hours. And after that, again, I used to get up completely energized. Then I used to sit with my studies. So I always had it in my mind, okay, between 11 p.m. to 11:30, I have to sit with my studies very strictly. I was following that thing. So that was the time when I used to sit with my studies. I used to study for like 1.5 hours straight. After that, I used to take a half-an-hour break, in which sometimes I used to, talk to my parents, because everyone is like late sleepers in my family. So my family also sleeps by 1:32, like that. So I used to speak at my home around 12:31 p.m. like that. Sorry, 1 a.m. So after that, again, I used to sit for study for 1 or 2 hours, as much as I could stretch. Like, I didn't compromise my sleep, because if I knew that if I compromise my sleep, it will affect my retaining capacity also, and it will affect both my professional life and my educational life also. So, I'll not be able to retain stuff that I'm reading. Also, in my office, I'll get very lethargic. So that was the reason I never compromised with my sleep. And I had holidays on Saturday and Sunday, right? So every Friday, I used to give myself a very good treat. Every Friday night, I did not study at all. Friday night, I used to cook something really good for my dinner, or I used to order something good. I used to watch some movie. I used to just completely chill out till Saturday 12 p.m. Okay. After that, again from Saturday 12 p.m. onwards till Sunday evening, I used to be very, very rigorous with my studies. So what I used to do is I used to usually pick up small topics. To study on the weekdays, I used to pick up small topics because I knew that I have less time. And the bigger chapters I used to pick up on the weekends, because I had a good amount of time during the weekends. So in weekdays, I used to like manage around sometimes 4, sometimes 5 hours of study. But when it comes to weekends, of course, I have a lot of time, and I had no outing at all. So I had good ample amount of time to study, to take some rest also in between. So that was how it was going. But in case if I had to pick up any big chapter during the weekdays, okay, sometimes you don't have any other option and you have to pick up a big chapter. So in that case, what I used to do is I used to pick up a big chapter, and I used to keep a time slot. Okay, so either I will do it just for 1.5 hours, or I'll just solve 5 questions out of it. So whichever suited me more, I did that. Because I never tried to overstress myself, because if I overburden myself, my productivity will go down. Okay, so I never thought of overburdening myself uselessly. I had to maintain my peace of mind, my productivity, and my personal life, my professional life, everything I had to balance out. So I had to be, very much careful in every step that I'm taking, because my one wrong decision, it is going to affect everything. So that was the reason I had to be very, very careful. So this was the scenario. And when in November 19, I had my examinations, I gave my first draw. After giving my first draw exams, I was 100% sure I'll clear it, because my exams went really well. And then I thought, okay, let's try for the second group also, let's give it. So my second group papers also went well, except for DT. DT also would have been better if actually I wouldn't have got scared in those 3 hours of the examination. So the paper was a bit tricky, and I actually got anxious. I got nervous while solving the paper. So I couldn't, make a correct choice of solving the paper, and I got confused and I just ruined everything. So I had a doubt in my mind that time that, second group was in doubt, because I knew that rest of the papers were still fine. Even ISCA was okay, even if I was weak in ISCA, but still I knew ISCA somehow 42, 43, I'll score aram se. And I did actually. But DT was something that was very doubtful for me. And the same thing happened in January 2020 when the results were out. I had cleared my first group with 221, and my second group was like 169. So 390 was my total. I had failed in DT, but I got 36 that time. So that was the scenario. After that also, I was like, okay, now I gained some confidence that after so many years of struggle, finally my one group is cleared, and that too along with the job, I managed to clear my one group. So I gained some confidence. Okay. And then I was like, okay, but it's been like more than a year. I haven't been home. I just wanted to go home also. But I was like, no, now in May 20, I'll give my exam and then I'll go home, as it was my commitment that I'll go home after clearing my CA only. Yeah, so things were still okay up till like, January, February. I wasn't able to study much. Of course, things were just roaming up in my mind. about that, for few marks I was not able to clear both my groups together. So again that thoughts were popping up in my mind. Okay, I wish I would have, given my best of my efforts in that 3 hours of my DT paper. I think I would have cleared it, and by this time I would have been a chartered accountant. By this time I would be at home. I don't know when will I go home, and all these things were going on. Then I was like, okay, I somehow calmed myself. Okay, no problem. In May exams are going to come again, and in May you will give your exam and you'll be a free bird after that, and you can go home easily and you can just live your life to the fullest, and you can do anything you want, because now you know that how do you have to manage your job and your study. This was the thing going on in my mind. So after that, suddenly that corona situation came up, and but the best thing was, before that corona situation came up, my sister had visited me in Hyderabad. So that was the only reason I could keep my calm. Otherwise I would have been literally gone crazy, because it was such a long period. I didn't go home and I literally was going crazy, seriously. So after that, when the corona situation came up and that lockdown happened, we were expecting, okay fine, lockdown will lift up and we'll go back to the office. So my entire routine and the way I studied in 2019 for my examination when I cleared my first group, and studying now when you're working from home, it was a completely different scenario. That time at least, we had maid who used to do our dishes and cleaning work. Only my cooking I used to do on my own. So this was the time when not even maids are coming, because our society didn't allow. So a lot of things were going on. So I got completely disturbed again, and it was very difficult for me to focus that time. I was even not aware that whether the exams are going to happen or not. And it was also like, the last attempt is approaching for CA final old syllabus. So what is supposed to happen and how am I going to manage it? I was not able to understand. And also my work-life balance got completely ruined, because I was habituated, like visiting office for 9 hours and coming back home and managing it, managing my studies and my personal life. But when it came to working from home, I couldn't really manage it in a very well way. So my hours used to sometimes stretch from 9 to 12 also, because I used to feel a bit lazy. So I used to sleep in the afternoon if I get time. So of course I had to extend my working hours to complete my work. So all those things happened and everything got disbalanced, and I got really confused. Plus then examinations also got cancelled, and again I felt that again I'm getting into that depression phase, and a lot of past mistakes and everything is popping up in my mind. I'm not able to understand anything, like what am I supposed to do now? And then suddenly what happened was that my flatmates, so I used to stay in a 3 BHK, and my flatmates were vacating the flat. They were going back home, and my owner also asked us to vacate the flat as he had to get it renovated. So that was again an additional headache for me, that now I have to again find a house also for myself, because till that time that examination thing was in dilemma. Okay, so exams were supposed to happen in July last year. So May exams got delayed and it is supposed to happen in July. So somehow keeping my mind at calm, I was like, okay fine, now I'll give my exam from here only. Whatever the situation is, I'll just give my exam. Rest, whatever will happen will happen. This was in my mind. Then that time I just switched my flat. I went to another apartment. I started staying there, and that place also suited me well. People were good, and I avoided talking much because I did not wanted to waste my time. So then also a lot of things were going on in my mind, and well, exam happened, will it get cancelled? So a lot of things popping up, my past mistakes popping up. I was just not able to focus at all. I was not able to focus. Then I don't know, one day suddenly I realized that to just keep myself a bit motivated and positive, every day I'm spending 3 to 4 hours on my mobile, just watching that motivational quotes, motivational videos, just to keep myself calm and positive. And still I'm not able to maintain that pace on a regular basis. So then I realized, okay, external motivation will not help you. It will just waste your time. If you're going to do this on a regular basis, it is just wasting your time and you're not doing anything productive. And then I was like, okay, now I have to motivate myself. I have to find out a reason of why am I doing it. Okay, and also my revalidation thing, as I said, that I did not want to get revalidated, but of course my one group was already clear, and since the last attempt of CA final was very close, so I was like, okay fine, then last attempt, whatever is there, if till then I clear, I'm done with my CA, otherwise I'm going to quit. This was my final decision. And then I was like, now whatever it is, अब जान लगा के पढ़नी है, एकदम जान लगा के पढ़ाई करनी है, जो होगा देखेंगे. Okay, this was in my mind that time. So then what I did was I ordered some motivational posters from Amazon, which actually helped me. I decorated my entire room with that, and also near my bed I had posted that CA initials. I had posted it I pasted the CA initials in front of my bed. So the first thing in the morning when I woke up, and the last thing at night when I slept, I used to see was that 2 letters CA. I had a proper study arrangement, and that was the table I used to use for my office purpose and my study purpose. Okay, and that was completely dedicated to it. I never studied on my bed. I was very strict with that. aspect. And also I kept a good note that okay, I have to keep practicing also, because my DT paper had ruined everything last time. I had to be very careful with DT this time. So DT also I studied, I tried to cope up with it, and still I was like able to feel that somehow I'm not able to give my productivity very well. I'm not able to keep up the pace very well. So I was like, if I'm supposed to study 5 to 6 hours, if I have completely 5 to 6 hours I'm having in my hand to study every day with my office, but I'm not able to put more than 2 to 3 hours. So then I realized that how to do it and where is my time getting wasted. Then what I did was I started to maintain a time track. So every day I used to write down from from what time to what time I slept. So I knew how many hours I slept, what was my lunch time, how much time did I give to cooking, at what time. So my 24 hours of track I kept. Then I knew, okay, this was the time I studied, this was the time I wasted watching movie, or just when I was on a lunch break or something, I just wasted this time. And all these things I was able to track, and within 3 to 4 days I used to get an output like, okay, if I'm having 6 hours to study, I'm just studying 2 hours, 3 hours, like that. So I used to know that how much of percent of my time am I wasting. So that is something that helped me to overcome this thing. So after that I took a very important step, and that was I noted down whatever portion for me in my second group was complete, and whatever was pending I noted down at one place. And after that I made an analysis that how much time do I need to complete the remaining portion of my syllabus, because there were certain things that I have read, but I have read it long back. Okay, so there was a time gap between that, so I have to cover up everything. And this time I had to make sure that I just have to clear my examination at any cost. So the number of practice, the number of revisions, whatever I have to do is even if I have to do it 100 times, I have to just make sure I do it. Because the thing that was in my mind that time was that even if the result is 1%, I have to come in that 1%. Because I know that I have seen people when they clear one of their group, and for the other group they keep struggling for years and years, and I did not wanted that thing to happen with me. And also, since the CA final last attempt was approaching for the old syllabus, I just did not want it to switch into the new syllabus and face that struggle further in my life. So that's the reason I got really strict with myself, and I had a target. I think approximately I made a target of September end to complete my syllabus entirely. Okay, so because this was the time when I had to be very careful, especially with DT, and also IDT was there. So that case laws also introduced, institute also introduced some heavy case laws based MCQs, and all those stuffs were there. So, and also the subject that I hated in my entire CA final syllabus was that ISCA. That was the weakest one for me. So there are 4 large papers to complete in second group, and that is like costing is also a bit hefty, but costing was still a strong point for me. Apart from 2 to 3 chapters, my costing base was very strong, and that 3 chapters were not like something I used to completely ignore, but some portion of it I used to ignore. So I knew that if I get some question from this, either I'm going to completely leave it an option, or if I have to attempt it, I have to attempt it just for the sake of step marking. So I was like, okay, with cost, but still I had to ensure that at no cost I am going to leave any portion of the syllabus that later I have to regret. So in costing, what I did, I started solving book also. I had already solved PM in my earlier attempts, so I knew that what are the important questions in the PM. But this time I also took the study material in my hand. So I took study material, I solved questions from there also, and I got some good questions in the study materials as well. Then along with that, I solved 4 to 5 attempts of RTP and MTP in case of cost. And DT, IDT, I did some summary classes in order to complete. I made my notes, I did 2 attempts of amendments, and a lot of struggles were there. So I got a question bank. Actually, I had to refer Institute question bank, but instead of Institute's question bank, I actually referred question bank from Atul Agarwal, because he had released it for DT and IDT, both the papers, and it was a compilation of all the questions of Institute material. So that was the best thing to refer, because ultimately what was in my mind is I have to refer only Institute material. So that was a good material to refer, because it covers all RTP, MTP also, and also you have amendments in DT, IDT. So if I go back, attempting 3 to 4 attempts of RTPs and MTPs again, that amendment I have to see again separately. So if I'm doing it from this question bank, everything will get covered at one place. So I started solving the questions. DT was something, there were certain chapters in DT I just hated to pick it up, and it was also super lengthy. So I used to ignore it firstly. I used to do it like, some part of it is done and again something is pending. Again, I'm not just picking it up and it remains pending for long. So those things I try to avoid. This time also it happened that some of my chapters like PGBP, capital gain, I started and I just did half of it and I just left it in between. I did not solve all the questions. But that was of course the wrong decision I took. So in September, I picked the chapters back, which I had already left earlier, like PGBP, capital gains in case of DT, and one or two chapters in costing also was like half done from the book. So I just picked it up back. And before picking it up, of course, the rest of the portion which I had not touched for my coming attempt, I had not touched it at all. So firstly, I tried to complete everything. So here, when my target was to complete everything by the end of September, what I used to do is I used to keep some small targets as well. Okay, so when you're having a long-term target, you have to make small targets for that in order to complete a long-term target. So my small targets wouldn't used to be like that I used to make everyday target. No, I used to plan either for an entire week, that in this week I have to complete this. I used to allocate it for every day. Okay, I had a whiteboard in my room and I just allocated my chapters, subjects, whatever, in that day wise. So that actually helped me, how that sometimes you're not in a mood to study something specific. Like for ISCA, I used to keep 2 hours every day. So 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, I used to study ISCA every day, because ISCA was something that was very weak of mine and I had to keep it on a regular basis. So ISCA I kept every day. Apart from that, the DT, IDT and costing also I had to manage. So for every day I had a target. So suppose if I have a target in my hand for the next 5 days, so I know that in the next 5 days, what are the specific topics that I'm going to pick up from which particular subject. So how that helped me was actually that sometimes, I'm not in a mood to solve cost. That is the time when I have to sit and solve cost and I'm not in a mood to solve cost. And then what will I do? And already I'm done with the portion of my DT or IDT like that. So what I'll do for the next day or the upcoming days that I have already planned, if there is some portion that I want to pick up, I'll just pick it up from there and do it today, but I'll not let my time waste. So this was the thing that I did, so that I just wanted that even if I'm doing something, my time should not get wasted. My syllabus is supposed to complete, right? So I have to just complete it in that given point of time. So I tried my level best that if I have planned something for that 5 days, in that 5 days everything is covered up. Sometimes of course it happened that whatever I planned, some things didn't get complete. So I used to note it down for the next time slot that okay, now I have to do it. So this is how things went. And after that, in September, finally I realized that my DT is already a bit weak. I was not able to do it in a very continuous basis DT. So I had to allocate some if I'm allocating 6 hours, either I'll do it in 3 slots of 2 hours each, morning, afternoon and then evening, or I'll do it in the 2 slots, like 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the evening. So as per my comfort level, I used to plan it accordingly. And that I used to basically do during the weekends, that I can pick up the big slots. Okay, so if it came to the weekdays thing, I used to do it 1.5 hours in the morning and 1.5 hours in the evening, or I used to target at times I even used to target just 3 to 4 questions every day. A lot of things were still going on in my mind. And of course, when again in October came up and I started to go through my syllabus again, there were certain things that I have already studied, but still I felt like I'm not getting that confidence. I'm not able to still solve much questions properly. So again I thought, okay, now again I have to solve the questions. So again you have to revise everything, you have to solve everything. So I again started solving some questions in DT, IDT, that chapters like ITC and all. It takes a lot of time, it has such big questions, and you have to do it very conceptually. So all that understanding level of mine, I had to build up my understanding level. I had to collect all the notes that I need during my examinations. I had to collect summary notes for my DT, IDT kind of papers. For costing also, I had to be regular in my practice, so that I avoid missing my marks at any point of time in that. And of course ISCA was the weakest point for me, so I had to be very regular with it. And of course in between, like that time also, my office work also got a little bit increased. And then again, that when exams again got postponed, then after that my exams were falling and the due date of the exam fell at the point of time when my office is at the most busiest time period. So that is during the month close. That is the busiest period for us, and that too it felt. So my exam actually started on 29th of November, and 10 days before I took the leave. So what I used to do is, sometimes I knew that I'll not take a very big leave. So why I did not prefer taking leave of 1 month, 2 months is, firstly, I know that even if I take a month leave, I'm not going to study more, because I knew that okay fine, now I'm still in a routine, and I'm a kind of person that who, when I have less time to do something, I do it in a better way and within that time limit. But if I have a lot of time now, I'll get lazy, and out of that lethargy, we tend to procrastinate things, which is not a good thing actually. So that was the reason I was like, 10 days of leave would be enough. But the biggest challenge that came up to me in November 20 examination was that during my weakest paper, that is ISCA, there were 2 days of gap. That was sufficient, of course, to complete the syllabus, but still the biggest challenge was that the busiest period of my office was that time, and I had to log in between for 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so it was like 29th November my exam had started, and on 2nd I had my ISCA paper. So 30th and 1st was the gap I had. So 29th, 30th I studied. On 1st in the afternoon time, I knew I have to log in for my office work for a few hours. So 4 to 5 hours was my target I have to spend. I knew that I have to spend it. So I just tried to get everything in my grip in that 1.5 days first. But still, I was not that successful because I was still left with three chapters in ISCA to revise. So I was like very confused, what to do, and that too ISCA isn't the weakest point. That day somehow I just managed my office work. I completed everything by 6 o'clock, and after that I just called my manager and I was like, now I'm putting my phone on silent, now please do not call me, and do not disturb me, tomorrow I have my examination. So quickly I came back, I sat, and I was getting anxious that time. Firstly, ISCA's paper is there tomorrow, and that too ISCA is my weakest subject, and so much of time got wasted today. I'm still left with 3 chapters, what to do, how to do, a lot of things are going on in my mind. I was also feeling super hungry that time, and I was not able to understand what to do. So that time I got a bit strict with myself. I was like, no, whatever happened has happened. Now what I have is the remaining portion of the time, and I have to utilize in the best possible manner and give the best shot in my tomorrow's exam, and I will definitely clear it. Okay, because just if my 4 to 5 hours did not get allocated to my study, it got wasted. It does not mean that it is going to affect my examination. No, I'll not let it happen. So I ordered my food, like I ordered my dinner and all. And after that, I sat with my study. I did not even eat, even if I was feeling super hungry. I gave a punishment to myself. No, at least 2 chapters you have to complete now, and then you will go for eating. So I was done. After I was done with my 2 chapters, approx 9:30 p.m. I went. Next day was my ISCA paper, so it went well, and of course, my result was good, and I was able to manage my office work, my examination, everything very well. So that is something I just wanted to share with you, is that when you're managing your job as well as your study, it is the best learning phase of your life, and you should know how are you going to manage it. See, I know there are a lot of things that you might be thinking were not actually relevant for you, but just making a plan will not work. You should know the challenge that you will face when you are doing your job and you are also studying along with it, and especially when you are preparing for such a big professional examination like chartered accountancy. You will face a lot of challenges, there will be a lot of distractions and everything. So that was the reason I had to share everything in detail with you. So see, the way I planned, I'm not asking you to plan it in the same manner, but of course this is something you can take as a base, and accordingly you can make a plan. So your job profile would be different, your busy season would be different, your working hours would be different, your weekly holidays would be different. So everything would be different for you, your scenarios, your family scenarios, everything would be different. So you have to manage it accordingly, and you have to plan it in that manner. Okay, so do not try to follow me, or do not try to follow anyone else. This was something I just shared with you, that you should know there are a lot of challenges that you're going to face in it. But of course, if you are determined enough, you can overcome that challenges, and along with your job also you can manage your studies, and you can earn the degree of chartered accountancy, and you can feel super proud. That is the best thing, when along with your job you earn such a good degree. That is the best thing and the best learning experience of your life. So whoever is planning to do this, I am telling you, just go for it. Just go for it. Okay, don't think twice or thrice, just go for it. Of course, but firstly analyze your situation and then go for it. And at least if 3 attempts of your CA final is done and you are not able to clear your examination, then only go for the job, is my personal suggestion to you. Because firstly you should focus on clearing your examination, and then only go for the job. But if anyone is facing any financial issue, something, and in that case I know that people don't have any other choice, then you have to go for the job, and you have to manage your study along with it. So I completely understand that thing. I have been in that phase. So just go for it, guys. all the very best for your future. I hope this helped you, and in case if you need any support, any advice from my end, do let me know in the comment section, or do reach me out on Instagram or LinkedIn profile of mine. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Take care.